Hello and welcome to Breaking Late. I'm your host, Michael, and with me, as always, is JD. How you going, mate?
Not too bad. How about you, Michael?
Oh, yeah, it's a bloody difficult weekend to watch all the motorsport over there in America.
Yeah, they're really inconsiderate. They need to think about changing their time
I
zones.
know, if you could just shift the country a little bit, I don't know, just bring it forward. But no, we did all manage to get the races. You were up very early, actually. You watched that live.
Yeah, I did. 4:30 this morning. I woke up to
Ooh.
watch the race, and yeah, I don't know. It was. I
Was
don't
it
know
worth
if
getting up for?
I don't know if it was really worth it in the end.
It was
Let's
a
get
race that a lot happened at the start.
Yeah,
It was full on at the start, and then it sort of just sat down into a groove. And
it did, and it sort of all neutralised a bit too, the strategies and that, when the virtual safety car come out. That really neutralised what was going on for Ricardo and that. So it's a bit of a shame, but you know, that happens, and you can take that in the chin. He still did a great job, drove a really good race, looked after the tyres and stuff, and come home a solid third. So.
Ricardo was looking very strong at the start.
Yes.
He got that start he did was really well. Like, he managed to hold him out. Like, I'm surprised that Red Bull went around the outside at turn 2. And you did see in the other shot that Rosberg does mess up a little bit. I think he goes a bit too wide on the inside.
I think Ricardo commanded the line a little bit, so Rosberg sort of had to yield in the end.
It's another one of those ones where he's fighting for a championship. He doesn't want to.
Exactly, and he doesn't need to do anything dangerous. He doesn't need to win this championship. He just needs to be consolidate and get as many points on the board, and don't let Hamilton run away with it, and he'll be fine. He'll tromp home with the championship. So.
It was just still great to see Ricardo off the line like that.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of the strategy too, because if you listen to him after qualifying, so Ricardo went with the super softs.
Mm-hmm. I did notice he was on the different tyres.
Yeah, so and they were a bit worried about that for his strategy. Basically, was going to make him pit early and stuff like that, and compromise maybe a little bit of his race plan. But they knew it could give them command if he had got in front at the start.
Yes,
it gave him commanding position, sort of track position ahead of them. So then he could undercut them by pitting first and stuff like that. So it was a pretty good strategy play. It didn't quite play because he didn't get Hamilton as well off the start.
No,
but
Hamilton actually pulled out a good start.
Hamilton did, yeah.
He was off the
really
line
did.
and gone.
I was watching some interviews with him, and he basically was talking about he's been working in the factory all of last week, pretty much just on his starts.
Oh, okay.
And he's found a few things in the setup and stuff, and how they calibrate it all and stuff, that makes him so much more confident on the start. So he's really happy with how it is, and he's got
he
more
needs
confidence.
to do something about his starts, because that's where he's losing all his races.
Yeah, it is. It is. And Formula One, we all know about dirty air and stuff like that. So it's getting that really good start can sometimes, one, it gives you pit priority over your teammate.
Yep.
And two, track position is really...
you can control the race. You can start controlling the pace a lot more. Like, you see, he goes out there, he sort of gets his gap that he needs, and then just looks after those tyres and goes, all right, I need to drive to a number.
Yeah, exactly. And it's something he's very good at. A lot of them don't get to be in that position to command that sort of thing. It's something...
It's a very difficult thing to actually be in a position of that, to be the driver of that caliber, and then to have the car to be able to do that as well.
Yeah. Like, Hamilton's obviously had a lot of practice over the last few years doing it, and he's got very good at it. I don't think Rosberg's as good at it, but he's definitely come a long way. Yeah, he's definitely come a long way this year.
Getting a lot better at driving away with a race.
Yeah, and just controlling it. Not doing too much. The pack's definitely come to Mercedes. So
everyone's caught up. They haven't pulled away like
Red Bull
thought they might.
Yeah, so obviously Mercedes, I don't think are doing... Well, they are still doing development, because they did bring a few things to the last meeting, but not as heavy development as Red Bull seemed. They said to everyone that they stopped developing their car, this year's car. There seem to be still... There's new parts on it again. They had new brake ducts on it. Not ducts, brake drums on it for this meeting. So it's another meeting.
But then the parts they could be bringing across might be ones that they can convert over to the old.
Well, exactly.
the
Maybe
new car.
maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe the bits that they're working on are stuff that will
compatible
cross.
with the old ones.
Yeah.
The new ones. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that was quite interesting. Red Bull, very racy, quite fast.
Especially at the start. Like those two Red Bulls, they were splitting the Mercedes. They had what? Mercedes, Red Bull, Mercedes, Red Bull. Yeah, you can just turn his phone on silent so no one can freak out that it's a message that they're listening to. And they're like, oh, is that my phone? No, but like the Red Bulls were looking quick, and Verstappen was actually sort of closing the gap a fair bit on Rosberg in the front stage of that race.
Yeah, and I think that come a little bit because Ricciardo was backing Rosberg back.
Yeah.
And I think
it all played into Hamilton's hands, though. He managed to just drive away with that.
Yeah, I think Red Bull realised that they didn't have the outright pace to beat Hamilton. So they were trying to make that second work. So what they were trying to do is stretch Ricciardo's stint. So basically he would have gone on to a conservation mode of tyres and fuel and stuff like that, and just pulled right back out of it and just looked after the car and stuff like that. Now, Rosberg probably tried to match him a little bit, so he probably wanted to stay back from Ricciardo a little bit so he didn't get in the dirty air.
Mm-hmm.
And Verstappen just looked at that as, this is my chance to pass him.
Yeah, well...
It's funny. I thought he was maturing a lot, but some of the things he says sometimes just...
Oh, you're talking about the incident where he's like, I'm not here to come fourth.
Yeah. His engineer's trying to look after him, trying to give him a chance to not come fourth and come second or third.
Mm-hmm.
And he just smart aleck comments like that. It's they're on your side.
There could be heat of them. I know he's on this side, but those messages are never live. We don't know where he could be.
Oh, I know that.
Because it did come when it played on the telecast. It was like he'd already fallen back a bit. Yeah. So obviously, before they were saying that when he was very much attacking, and he was in a position where it looked like he could get this done.
Yeah, it's
But yeah,
you can't deny his passion. I'll give him that.
Oh yeah, he's committed.
He is. He doesn't care who he's going to piss off along the way either.
Well, we seem to piss off a lot of drivers. Like they're all not happy, and now they're looking at with completely off the race. But with the bringing the telemetry for the seeing if you're actually doing more than one movement in braking zones.
Yeah, so that's probably brings us on to something we should get into, is the news.
Yes.
The FIA have actually brought out some new rules to try and stop the Max Verstappen brake jigging. So where he waits for you to make a move and then under brakes he'll turn across in front of you. They've now ruled that out, changed the rules.
So is it once you can only make
one movement under brake?
Under brake zones. As soon as you start braking, that you can't.
Yeah,
you can't. You haven't done your movement yet.
Yeah, you can't.
Oh.
So, it's not even one movement. It's once you're under brakes, you're not allowed to
change
zig.
line.
Yeah. So, which is personally, I think it's good.
Is that in effect as of?
That was in effect
last night?
Yep. That race was already in effect.
So now no one can whinge if he doesn't get pinned by it. Then he's doing everything by the books, and everyone can just stop whinging.
Yeah, exactly. He's very defensive of it. He reckons the racing's now going to be more boring. But I don't know. I think the way he was doing it, it was
getting a little dangerous.
Well, yeah, borderline dangerous. I don't want to sound like an old fuddy-duddy, but
you are.
Yeah, it was going to slowly deteriorate the fact that people were not going to try and go for the move because it could end up in a crash. So if someone like Rosberg goes for the move on him, he knows he has to, like, look at last meeting. He had to be so committed. He can't telegraph that move at all. Otherwise, he'll block it, and they're going to end up in a crash. So you have to be really sporadic with your moves on Verstappen. You can't let him know that you're about to make a move or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's the same with all of them. Like they all get defensive, but...
Do you think this would be such a big thing if he wasn't fighting with people at the front?
No, I think it would be the same the whole way through the field. Yeah,
I think if he was fighting with, like, say he was
if it was like for 15th, I think it'd probably be even more frowned upon because it's not in the points and
you're not fighting for anything other than honour. And
yeah, exactly. I think that'd be the team, especially in those teams that are back there, probably wouldn't want him risking gear like that. Up the front, it's probably less frowned upon because they want every point they can get they don't mind spending an extra $1 million on parts if he crashes and bins it.
Yeah.
So,
and it makes for good TV, and you always get airtime, so your sponsors are happy.
Yeah, exactly. It does, and everyone's talking about it. We're still talking about it. He hasn't done
he
it
didn't
for
do
probably
anything.
3
He
meetings.
He didn't race a great race last night.
No,
but
it was a bit of an average one for him.
Still driver of the day.
Yes, driver
still
of the day.
Driver of the day. So who's running the bloody Max Verstappen Facebook page?
Yeah,
They got everyone to vote. 40% of the votes or something like that come from the Netherlands.
Yeah.
It's a popularity contest.
No, they're just all getting behind him. Maybe all the Australians out there should get behind Ricardo, and all your Brits should get behind Hamilton or Palmer or Button.
Like, there was no way the Australians were all going to get up and vote for him. I wasn't awake for it.
Yeah, no.
You'd vote
very
the shit
low
out of it, just like you refresh.
Yeah, I'd say there was a very low number of
Australians
watched this race live, which is a real shame because Ricardo drove a great race. He was one of the standout drivers from the meeting, and
still quite like the track.
Well, the track's quite good. It has little aspects that I like from other tracks in it. And it's got a lot of elevation and stuff like that. Makes it really interesting. Yeah, it's a bloody big hill.
How wide is it too? Like,
until it gets to the apex.
I was watching it with my brother this afternoon, and he was like, "Do they normally make turn ones that wide?" I'm like, "No, not normally, but it's good."
Yeah,
it makes you be able, like, you can see all this. There's all those different lines through it.
Yeah.
So I like watching the overtaking.
And you look at the
a bit
apex
deeper
spot,
and you run it out, and you've got the better drive out of the corner.
The turn one is quite a weird corner because it has a very sharp apex, so it's really wide in, really wide out, but it gets narrow in the center of the corner, and it's quite interesting corner. I like it.
It's also like 13 meters up.
Yeah,
and then it's like
quite
a
steep
blind bloody left-handed down a hill.
You don't notice it too much on the telecast until you see him look from down the bottom, from the starting grid up.
Or when you watch Kimi Räikkönen roll down the hill.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty funny too. Did he get any penalties for that, actually? That's quite interesting.
I haven't seen anything.
No,
I don't think he did anything wrong. He didn't roll down on the racetrack. This is something I was going to...
Well, you're not allowed to reverse down pit lane.
He wasn't in pit lane. He was on the red bit.
But he ended up in pit lane, parked in pit lane.
He didn't drive down pit lane backwards.
He didn't select reverse and reverse down pit lane.
I think that's where he got away with it. It's not
Maybe.
my fault. I left it neutral. I wanted it up on that hill.
Yeah,
Bastard rolled down. I was
they got penalised for the unsafe release anyway.
So what was it? It was a wheel that wasn't done up. Because they kept talking about this gun during the telecast, and like, it's fresh in my mind. I've literally just finished watching it. Well, and I'm going back there looking at going, well, you'd think a gun would fall off the nut or something. But
so when he took off the gun, I don't think the gun had done his right hand. They kept saying left, but I think it's his right hand rear had not been done up properly, and he had to take a second go at it. And as he hit it with it the second go, he's gone to accelerate. I think the wheel actually sheared. So the nut started to do up.
Yep.
But as he's accelerated,
sheared the teeth off of it.
Yeah, you know how they got the little teeth in behind the wheel that lock the actual rim onto the hub? I think it's sheared all those teeth off because he's obviously put a lot of load in it to accelerate away. Yep. And the poor gun guy still had the gun on as he accelerated away.
That's
so it nearly pulled it out of his hands. He did well. He held on to the gun really well and managed to hold on to it and not let it tear off with the car. But yeah, no, it was an unusual one. I haven't seen that before.
That was very odd. I was trying to look for
I
what
thought
the
wheel was
was
going to be really loose or something, but
it didn't look it. It looked quite sturdy.
But Raikkonen actually come out and said that he felt it and seen the sparks. I don't know if you picked the sparks up.
I did pick sparks up when he took off.
Yeah, and I think that was
in the slow mode.
Teeth shearing off. So,
okay.
So he picked up on it. He knew there was a problem before the team even said pull the car over. So he was already slowing down.
Yeah, he didn't really take off out of the
Yeah, not like normal.
Pits. No. But yeah, like I was also gonna bring up with you. What are your thoughts with the track? With this track, I swear it's got like pull off lanes, parking lanes the whole way around this track. Those red tram lines.
About the Verstappen not pulling into an area sooner.
Oh, no, I'm just talking about the whole track limits of this track and
the
fact that...
how wide this track seems to be. It seems to be 2 tracks wide.
Well, you've got your track, right? And then you've got your white lines, and then you've got your curb, and then they've got that, like, additional, I assume it's like an AstroTurf or a hard concrete red runoff.
I actually think it's actually tar painted
so it's still
red.
It's still part of the racetrack, but it's just the lines. I understand why you'd build a racetrack like that. It's a lot safer to have all this big runoff, and especially when you've got this tram line whole way around it.
It's funny how earlier in the year they were so anal on track limits, yet we get to a track where everyone is breaching track limits, and no one cares.
Martin Brundle was not happy. He halfway through the commentary thing, he was like, "There's no track limits this weekend. Doesn't matter." Because you can see, like, especially it's Alonso true. When he's chasing down Saints.
Yep, it's true.
It's quite wide out, and you're getting such a better run off the corner. Like, you're traveling a few extra meters, but you're getting that straight line run.
It is. It's half a tenth here and there, and that's all Formula One's about. So if you can gain half a tenth by going a car width wider off the exit, they're going to do it.
I understand why you'd build a track like that. Like, having all the runoff space doesn't make it a lot safer, and you're not getting, like, we saw cars retire, but we didn't see any, like, smash out into a wall or anything. There was no
there's a lot of room around that track as well. There's no walls.
But with having those extra lines, and especially if it's tar, it's just, you're asking a racing driver to be like, don't go on the red stuff, but the red stuff's just as good as the grey in the middle.
Yeah, I think that's true.
It was pretty embarrassing with how much they were going off the track and just not.
I just think that my problem is not that they're doing it; it's just the inconsistency of the track limit rules. They need to be consistent.
But see, then you can get over when they're like, "Oh, well, no, you didn't really get an advantage over there." I'm like, I don't care. The track's built this way. Go the way of the track.
Some pretty big news over the weekend. Come out on Friday, I think.
Toro Rosso.
Yeah, Toro Rosso. Signing on Kvyat for another season?
That come out of left field.
I didn't see it coming, to be honest.
I messaged you in the morning going, Kvyat staying with Toro Rosso.
Yeah.
And I don't think you believed me fully at the start.
No, I didn't. I was only reading the night before. So we found out about it, I think, Saturday morning because it was Friday their time.
I think it was 7 o'clock Saturday morning. I read the news.
I was only reading the night before that he was linked to going to Force India.
That's the last thing I heard before it was all of a sudden Toro Rosso again.
Yeah, it was crazy. I didn't see it coming at all.
All I can think is Toro Rosso don't want to risk it with a new driver with a new category, with a new cars.
You're probably right on it, actually. It surprised me that they've left Pierre Gasly in GP2 again.
But is he out of contract, or is he still contracted to Red Bull? Because if he's still contracted,
he's still contracted.
Stay there.
But well, obviously they write their contracts pretty well, so I assume he's pretty well stuck.
You can only get out of it unless Red Bull want him or Toro Rosso want him.
Yeah, or they release him for some reason. And I don't see them doing that because he's a pretty good young driver. He's an up-and-coming young driver. So, yeah, it's an awkward one. Maybe it's a bit of not the best thing to be a Red Bull driver at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel for Saints. What's Saints doing? They got two maybe future world champions in their main team at the moment.
Saints is going to have to leave Red Bull.
He is.
I reckon Saints.
Red Bull have to let him go first, but
yeah, but he was signed on for this year? Did he do 2 years or something?
Yeah, but that's to drive for Toro Rosso, but that doesn't mean his Red Bull contract's over.
Yeah, but there must be a clause there if he can't get into Red Bull itself, because like I can't see Ricciardo going anywhere.
The only place Ricciardo will go is Ferrari. And
would you think if they
Mercedes?
Yeah, if Mercedes seat freed up, you'd jump at that, wouldn't you? Right now you would, but then would you risk it?
I don't know. I think he's done the right idea of staying where they are, especially with the develop they've done this year. They've obviously got that development program back on track.
Oh yeah, they've nailed the development this year.
They're not the fastest car out there yet, but their development speed is far in excess of any of the other teams.
Yeah.
They've come so far. They come from becoming,
They were struggling
the
to make
third
podiums.
fastest team or to fourth fastest team to now definitely the second fastest team, and possibly sometimes in some areas they're stronger than Mercedes.
Yeah, and like Ferrari has not done anything.
Ferrari,
and everything seems so negative at Ferrari at the moment.
I don't know if you've been reading any of this stuff about what's going on, but there's rumors going around now that Marchione might be gone before the end of the year. Even they might not even let him do the end of the year.
Ferrari need to get their
sorry,
shit together.
is it? No, it's not Marchione. It's Riva Bene.
Riva Bene, yeah.
Yeah,
but he only just came in.
Yep. So there's rumors that he could be gone
because they had the rear wing failure this weekend a couple of times on Vettel's.
Yeah, but that wasn't. That's.
But then I was more taken away from that as Vettel's response was very negative.
Yeah, that was to do with the rear wing had like a marble build up on it, so it was losing the aero effect. It wasn't the actual DRS wasn't working or sticking open or anything like that. Yeah, so that wasn't too bad.
But it was just still his response. Like
I think his response was like, "Yeah, you're telling me about it, and I've nearly lost this. I'm having to catch this car every second corner. Yeah. You don't need to tell me. I'm driving the bloody thing." I think that's why he was a bit bitter about it.
So it's come out that Nico Hülkenberg has signed with Renault. Yeah. We talked about this a little bit on last week's show.
Yeah, it hadn't been confirmed last week, but now it has. He's definitely going to Renault next year, and he's pretty happy about it.
He seems pretty happy.
Yeah, I watched the driver interviews before the US Grand Prix, and basically come out. He said, "I always wanted to drive for a manufacturing team."
Yep.
And this is my chance.
You want to do. Like driving for the manufacturer's got that.
It's probably not a bad time to go there too. The engines are starting to come the right direction. I think, honestly, over the next few years, they're going to start pumping more and more money into that team as well.
Yeah.
So they're going to become more and more competitive. Maybe not next year. Maybe next year, Force India might have been better. I don't know. But
long term. Long as he's signed a multi-year deal, and that's the thing that you want because. Like Magnussen and Palmer, they're both out of contract now.
Well, they're on the edge. That's something we want to talk about, actually, is who's going to fill that other seat at Renault? And who's going to fill the other seat at Force India?
Yeah, because
Big questions.
And, yeah, well, we've got young bloke, the Williams.
Ocon? Or Lance Stroll.
Lance Stroll, he's basically all but confirmed for Williams.
Yeah, they're not going to announce it till he has his 18th birthday because they're Martini vodka sponsors. Mm-hmm. So they're going to wait until he turns 18 and then they'll announce it.
So he'll have an epic party though.
Oh, one would hope so.
My 18th
My
birthday
sweet
brought
16
to you by Martini.
versus 18th birthday sponsored by an alcohol company.
Yeah, so rumours out that like Renault want Bottas.
Yes, there's rumours circling everywhere. So the reason that Perez never signed completely on the dotted line with Force India because he was backwards and forwards with Renault.
Yeah, yep.
And they lost Perez, and they've gone for Hülkenberg. Got Hülkenberg. Who fills that other seat?
They caught Force India by surprise. Because, you must have been like, well, Perez is very back and forward. And then to have one driver, but we signed him, that's good. And then the other driver's like, nah, I'm off to Renault.
Yeah, I don't know. I almost say that maybe they seen it coming a little bit and they just went, well, we got the driver we wanted. I think they wanted Perez. And realistically, Perez has earned them more points.
Yeah. You'd want to. Perez is their number one driver. And, nothing against Nico. But
Nico's my favourite driver out of the two. I like him a lot.
Nico is someone that I like because he's got everything stacked against him. He's tall.
Yeah.
He's hard to fit in the cars.
Yep.
Especially with their minimum weight.
Yep. So, it's like the Webber days, versus Vettel.
Mm.
Webber, being his high centre of gravity, was costing him time every lap.
He stuck out of the car more.
Yeah.
I always, sometimes I struggle. Like, Alonso is someone that I don't know how he sees out of that car. Alonso, lays down and looks out through, old people specs with the bifocals.
Just over the,
he looks
just over
just
the dash.
out the bottom and he can just see over. It's like he's looking out over his nose is when he drives.
Yeah, there are a lot of them like that. So,
Doesn't seem to hamper his driving, though. He drove really well this weekend, Alonso.
Yeah, he did. Oh, he was like a dog on at the gate sort of thing at the end, like of that race. He was just going for those places.
But, he's still got all the places made. And fifth.
And a bit of controversial one with him and Massa. And
Did anything come out?
No, nothing ended up coming out of the stewards' hearing. They allowed it to lay how it was, so that's all fine. No points or grid place drops or anything for the next race, so that's all good.
So we'll just quickly, before we got Mexico up next, Rosberg still got his lead. He's got 28 points now.
Yep.
Do you think he's got this championship? Was it 4 races to go?
I honestly think that he has the championship in his hand, yeah. Realistically, without reliability problems,
it's his to lose.
Yeah, without reliability problems, he still has a complete DNF and still be in lead of the championship. So if he has a DNF now and Hamilton wins the race, it's on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, yep.
But until that happens, which I think he'll drive fairly reserved for the next few races, and fingers crossed everything goes smoothly and we get ourselves a new world champion.
Yeah, it should be good. We'll jump across to the V8 supercars. We'll jump into the news.
Yep. What do you got for me, mate?
Super Utes.
Yes, I did see
something
that.
I want to talk about.
Yep. Go ahead.
What are your thoughts? So, the Super Utes, from my understanding, this was originally talked about a couple of years ago with the V8 Utes, where they were talking about the V8 Ute of the future is what one article it was.
Yeah,
I read, where they were
going
to
go
the
car of the future.
Car
for
of the future. They've got
V8s,
a standard chassis, and it's going to be like V8 supercars. It's going to lower the cost of it because you just build one chassis and then you pretty much bolt your panels onto the car.
Yep.
So they're all now dual cab Utes.
Yep. They're going to be
V6 turbo diesel.
Now, are they going to be turbo diesel?
That's what I read.
When I read that article, I couldn't quite understand whether they were turbo diesel or they're based off turbo diesel Utes.
That's something.
It confused
because
me.
they do mention turbo diesel, so I'm assuming that there'll be turbo diesel Utes, and you have to have a dual cab.
Yeah, well, it'll be really
it makes
interesting.
sense for the market, especially up here. You see, every man is dog's bloody got a Ranger, a Hilux, or I was going to say
Isuzu D-Max,
BT50, basically Ranger,
Colorado,
Great Wall. Let's get Great Wall into it.
Well, actually, off topic, but sort of still on topic. Do you know there's a Great Wall racing series of Utes?
Really?
Yes, really. We'll link it in the show notes so you can check out the latest and greatest racing series.
No, I think one team should do a Great Wall Ute.
Well, I want a lot of sponsorship to go out there and embarrass myself every meeting.
If Supercars is doing the same, like if Supercars now own V8 Utes, which is now Super Utes, with V8 Supercars, you can go straight to Supercar and purchase a V8 Holden or a V8 Ford that's it's parity. It's like, this is our, what they call homologated or...
Yeah, homologated.
Yeah. The same engines, basically. You can buy one of them from them. So you're using it, you've got a competitive engine.
Yep.
Why don't you just buy one, like whatever your turbo diesel standard engine is, and slap another body on it? Use your Great Wall. I want to see a Great Wall out there.
Well, it will be interesting. I'm for it. Well, realistically, we had nowhere to go.
The Utes were dying.
Ford is no longer manufacturing Falcon Utes, and Holden, I think, is at the end of the year or end of this year, or maybe the start of next year. They will no longer manufacture Commodores.
Yeah.
And we didn't have a series anymore.
You don't see them on the you still see them on the streets. But you're not seeing new ones. Like, they're not in the numbers that they used to be.
Yeah, well, they're a dying breed, and realistically, Australia's built on tradies, and we're going to be running tradie Utes.
Yeah,
I'm for it. It'll be interesting, and it'll be different.
What I want to see is this. If they're building a standard chassis, and they're going to build it, can we turn this into a semi-development series as well as the Dunlop? The Dunlop will be much more suited, but can we?
Do you mean a faster series that's a bit more like on?
No,
full
I'm
slicks
talking
and stuff
about
like
something
that,
that you could move up from Super Utes into supercars.
I think
a bit like your GP feeder series.
Yeah, I agree with you, but the old Ute series was probably a little bit like that. It's just it was so undertired and no engine performance and stuff like that to keep costs down. It didn't really become a feeder series because the cars didn't handle properly. But with this new chassis setup,
it's very similar to Car of the Future.
Yeah,
I assume.
I'm sure they're handled different, but there's definitely aspects there I agree with. Yeah,
I think
it depends how much they control it. See, if it's like the old Utes where it's 100% controlled down to this is the brake pad you got to use and everything like that, maybe it won't. But if it's a little bit more open and they can run different shocks and stuff like that, maybe it will be. That it'll bring more of those.
It's basically V8 Supercars formula brought over to a Ute body.
Yeah,
that's why I'm actually seeing this has potential. As much as some people, having a laugh at like Rangers going around the track and that, you're like, well, they're not going to be grabbing the 4x4 models. It's not like they've got a 3-inch lift kit on it running 35s and they're going to go around Bathurst like that. I'd roll it.
I can't wait to see it. I'm not going to judge it too much until I see it. Hopefully they get the formula right and, hopefully it's a good series.
Yeah, I just think that it's got...
The old series is dying.
It is.
It's the reason they went bankrupt. That it's not a hidden fact. This year, the Ute series died.
Yep.
They had some meetings as low as, I think, 14 Utes turn up. Now, this is a series that 2 years ago was getting 36, 38 Utes turn up to a meeting.
Field. When they came to Darwin, like the years they were coming to Darwin, they had a bigger field than like everyone else.
Yep. So
and that's what made the racing good, though.
It was. And that cost them money because obviously when they signed a contract with V8 Supercars, they had to field a certain number of competitors. They didn't field them for quite a few meetings this year at the start of the year. Therefore, Supercars gives them a big bill saying, hang on, you're not fulfilling your television rights here because you're not giving us a show.
Yep.
This is the bill, and they couldn't afford to pay it. V8 Supercars purchased them for the... Probably
not much.
No, not much money.
Most times, like when they sell race teams, it's for $1.
Yeah. So,
but you get all that debt too.
Yeah. So, good to see V8s didn't just shut it down. I almost thought they were going to shut it down when they brought the 86 series out,
especially with the whole Utes of the Future. It's been 3 years since they talked about it.
Yeah, it's flown under the radar too most of this year. So they're obviously waiting for this last Ute round. To announce it.
Well,
to
they're
make
only
it
doing
a bit more
4
hype.
rounds next year,
and it's very late. They're not starting their first round till Townsville.
Townsville's going to be their first round, I think. Then they do,
which is July,
Bathurst,
I think.
Gold Coast, and Newcastle.
Yeah. So no, I'm excited for it. Can't wait to see it. Yeah. Any other news you got for us from V8 Land?
V8 Land. The extra news from the V8 Supercars that we haven't touched on yet is Red Bull Racing's appeal for Bathurst got thrown out.
Yeah,
the time penalty is staying. They didn't get that reduced or the penalty that they wanted.
Yep.
Now I'm not a huge fan of how this all played out, especially did you read what Jamie Whincup?
No, I haven't read his diary thing that he put out.
He was basically saying along the lines of, Fiat Supercars was happy to take our money. They took there was 11 grand or 10 grand or something.
10
they had
grand,
to lodge.
For the hearing. Yep.
They did all of that only for it to come out and be like, oh, you can't. The rules say you can't overchange a ruling by the stewards.
You're kidding me.
You can't change the penalty post race. So then, why did you take the money if you couldn't do it? If you knew you couldn't do it, why didn't you just be like, this is not going to hold up?
That's odd. And it's strange too because those race teams have to do it within an hour of the incident.
They did it straight away.
You've
as
got to.
As soon as the race finished, we had a mate leave my house after finished watching it. And then as soon as he got home, he texted me going, so they've appealed it. And I'm like, well, we'll see how that goes. But, I mean, this did have merit. I think what the penalty really should have been, knock him to 4th. Keep him off the podium.
I don't know. I don't think you can just do that. I think you have to give him some sort of penalty, but I was under the impression that a Category 1
offence
if you didn't readdress, was a 10-point penalty.
Yeah.
Now, he lost 140-something points, I think, 149 points or something we worked it out to be.
Yeah.
They're very different things. 10 points, 149
It was about
points.
150 points or something he lost over that incident.
That's the championship.
It is. It really is. He did come out and win on Sunday.
He did. He's doing everything right too. He shut up everyone as well with that win.
Yeah,
show
it was
he
a dominant win.
Yeah, he was fast again. Shane was virtually untouchable for outright pace this weekend, but he was
quick.
Unbelievable.
He was really cool.
He had pace up his sleeve with that car. So,
but with the rest of the news, I don't have too much. Not too much news in the meantime. We've only been like, 2 weeks, a week and a half or something.
Yeah, so...
but we've got all this Gold Coast to talk about. There's lots to talk about the Gold Coast.
Well, where do we start? We start with...
Saturday's race, shall we?
Saturday's race. Yep, go for it, Michael.
Oh, I just want to jump to the end of that race. That's all I've got to take away from that.
Oh, it's okay. We can't beat around the bush here. Everyone knows what we're talking about.
This is the Tanda being an idiot.
Yeah, well, hang on.
No.
That's fighting words.
That's why I have a podcast.
I believe Coulthard and the Tanda incident you're talking about.
Yes,
Yeah.
all right. Coulthard and Tanda.
All right, what's your take on it, Michael? You want to just run us through it?
All right. So we'll run. Do you want to run through with the audio? Or
we'll run through the audio.
We'll commentate.
Okay?
We're pretty good commentators. All right.
So it all starts.
We're starting through. So Tanda is trailing Fabian.
Yep.
He's coming through pretty much onto the last corner.
Yep.
And this section here, bump, and he's unsettled. Just gave him some wheel spin. And now he's moving all over the place. Like he's just darting too much.
Yeah, so Tanda's going left to right across the back of Fab's car.
And now, when you see that incident at full pace, like at live pace, that was huge.
It was.
And I think it just comes down to the point that Tanda was moving too much. In-car footage, you can see that he's turned back. And this rant is going to be very much a Tanda bash.
Yeah.
Because I straight up said to you, after this, like, Tanda cannot play the victim card.
He tried it.
Oh, yeah, but no one was buying it. The big thing I took away from that ripped the tethers off the wheel.
Yeah, it was a big hit. Big hit.
Considering those tethers held on when Mostert did the Bathurst crash.
Yep.
And that wheel rolled. At least it was nice and rolled along the wheel.
We've got plenty of sound going on in the background here for you. So we're going through another replay now. So Tanda's darting to the right, back to the left. Now he's coming up beside Coulthard, gives him a tap, and then just keeps driving.
Yeah.
Drives through, turns to the right, and turns him around. Now Coulthard's on for the ride of his life, bouncing like a pinball down the straight there off the walls.
He really does. He smashes the concrete. And this angle, how quick was that?
Yeah, they were saying roughly 250, 260 Ks an hour he went into the wall there.
It smashed the concrete and just where it hit on the concrete was where two barriers meet.
Yeah, it actually
shattered the weakest point.
Yeah. Personally, my view was, 100% Tanda problem.
Yeah.
Tanda did come out of that with a drive-through penalty and a 10-place grid drop for the next day.
Did he take the drive-through?
I believe he did take the drive-through.
I once I saw this, I ducked up for a toilet break and then I missed the race.
Yeah, he took the drive-through. Big news out of it on the positive side. DJR, wow. How the hell they got that car? For them to turn around
and get that car rebuilt.
And not only for the race, they got it out for qualifying.
Yeah.
And it was faster than it was the day before. It qualified like 21st or in the 20s on the Saturday, and then qualified 17th on the Sunday.
Yeah, that is just amazing job by the guys there. And like Fab said on Sundays, like there's a lot of guys that don't get the credit that need to, and they did, and a fantastic job for them to get that car rebuilt. Like that, I thought that was done. I thought that was done and dusted for the weekend.
Yeah, I thought it was too. I couldn't believe that it was back out there. When I turned the TV on Sunday and seeing that it was coming out the garage, I'm like, how?
Yeah.
Spare shell, surely. But no,
they
rebuilt the
car.
whole thing. So
A little disappointed in DJR though, in Team Penske. Just keep changing their liveries after I got their hopes up. They're like, we're running the Shell. Next year they're running 2 Shell liveries.
Yeah, next year.
Next
are
year
they going to step it up again next year?
In which way?
It just seems like the way they've purchased McLaughlin and stuff, seems like they're going to step it up.
They need to. I think they're going to need to be more consistently fighting for the front than what they are at the moment.
Aren't you? I agree with you. They've shown real glimpses this year of outright pace, and then the next meeting it's not there.
Gary Rogers is performing stronger than DJR Team Penske.
Yeah, at the moment. Wow, those Volvos are quick. Moff, well done, mate.
Good weekend.
And Golding really pulled it out in that Sunday race. They
qualified 4th.
Yeah, he did a lot better job. And yeah, Moff, wow. The pace he's got now, it come from before.
To drive the car too.
Yeah, it come from before Bathurst actually. Well, at Bathurst, Moff was a lot quicker. So either he's found a setup or they've made some changes to the car so it suits him a lot more. It's looking positive, and they needed to because Moff's there next year.
Yeah,
we don't know who his teammate will be. Maybe Tander, but we don't know.
I hope not.
Yeah,
you were saying Tander was looking at trying to field his own team. I mean, that's all fallen through, but
yeah, there was rumours flying about that Tander was looking at starting his own team up for next year, and running like a single car team. That's not going ahead now by the looks of it. But
it's an expensive way to get a drive.
Yeah, but he's still pushing for a drive next year, so
he's not doing himself any favours.
There's a few openings, but none of the teams other than Gary Rogers, I don't see him wanting a drive at any of the other teams.
No, I can't see him. I don't see him going to Erebus. I don't see that.
No,
I see Erebus bringing in one of their younger drivers.
Agreed.
Lucas Dumbrell, would he race for Dumbrell? Percat's got to be. He's looking for a new home.
Percat. What was the rumor? Percat was going somewhere. Is it Erebus? He was going somewhere. There's rumors that he was going to head somewhere.
Yeah, because he was in talks already. He told Lucas that he wanted to move on, and Lucas basically said I can't hold him back anymore. He needs to go to another team to really progress.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't know where's open for him. So wait, who you got? Volvo's still yet to announce a driver.
Yeah, well,
I don't think
James Golding hasn't done himself any favors over this.
No, this showed me James Golding needs one more year in development
series. Yep, I agree. He's definitely not done himself any favors with riding off gear, and that Gary's pretty good with giving people a go, but I think that will not work for him in this.
If Garth Tander's not on the grid next year, I'm not going to be hugely surprised.
Yeah, I agree. I think he will be, but I just don't. I won't be surprised either. He'll be a great co-driver for someone if he doesn't. He will probably be...
Maybe he could co-drive James Courtney next year.
That would be pretty big. But I don't know. How is his relationship with HRT now? He's been dumped.
I don't know.
Surely he feels...
He must feel a bit butthurt over it a little bit.
You would think so.
But he hadn't performed. That's the biggest thing, is he wasn't...
Courtney was outdoing him at every meeting.
Yeah,
and now since he's got the new car, he's been outperforming Courtney pretty much every meeting. Interesting. HRT has done this in the past.
Yeah, I just think HRT built a shit car for the past couple of years.
But I think HRT have also had lopsided garages for a long time.
They always have. They've
never been so much like a pro drive or something like that, where all the cars are meant to be equal and stuff like that. That's something that I haven't seen anything come out about pro drive. I don't see if any of them are moving.
I don't think they will.
No, the only one that really could move, I think, would be Waters. I don't know if he's done enough to secure a drive for next year.
Now, this is something that I feel that Mostert got moved on where he probably shouldn't have.
I think it was better when Mostert and Winterbottom were in the same team, pushing each other.
Because I said this last weekend, this weekend, watching the race. I'm like, it doesn't feel like ProDrive have a 3-car team. It just feels like 3 guys racing out of one garage for themselves.
Yeah.
It really does. They're not a team.
Yeah.
This also comes back to the cars don't look the same. Even when before, like ProDrive and PRA and that, they've always had slightly different liveries, except for when they had the Pepsi Max. But even when they had Will Davison and Frosty together, they had the same livery pattern, but they had 2 different logos there. But the cars still look very similar.
Yeah.
Now you've got these 3 cars that look all completely different. You wouldn't know they race together.
Yeah, and really it's kind of a 4-car team as well, because you got
Pither.
111.
Yeah.
The Super Black team as well.
Because they've now bought that racing license back.
Yeah, so it's... I don't know. I would have put my 2 strong drivers together.
It just shows you that they don't care about the team championship.
Yeah.
They don't
I
want to
think it's
move
healthier
up.
too. I think it pushes the drivers. Don't you think that Frosty can sort of I understand they're all on the same team still, and they're probably still pushing each other just as hard. But don't you think last year that pit priority was pushing Frosty to try and
do more,
go harder?
Yeah.
Or
I've been
Mostert
very
to qualify
disappointed
better?
in Frosty did a great drive on Saturday. He mixed it up with the co-driver.
Yeah, they did
Started
do well.
A different co-driver. Or he started him
Dean
driving.
Canto did really well, actually.
He drove with the main guys.
Yeah, I was surprised. He hadn't been the strongest co-driver out there this year, and he did a great job.
Something that I did remember from the Gold Coast was, it's a co-driver race. It really is.
It pretty much ended up like that.
There should be a minimum number of both drivers, because everyone was just going to like lap 60 and then changing, and then you've got 40 laps with a main driver in it. You're like, really? Like, that was Alex Pramat's win.
Yeah, Alex did a great job.
Except for that small safety car brain fart.
That was a big incident,
and then
actually,
I'm
on
surprised
Saturday.
nothing came out of the fact that Paul Dumbrell in the 88 car didn't go. Because that's what they were talking about.
I know they made a big thing of it, but I agree with it nothing being done, because he actually followed the rules that you weren't meant to accelerate before the acceleration area.
Yeah.
So I actually think they should have been talking about the other cars that did accelerate and followed Alex, because they accelerated before the acceleration zone and they're not allowed to.
Do they still have the acceleration zone? Or
Yeah,
can you
it's
just
after a certain corner, they have to hold a constant speed.
Hold a constant speed until like turn 7. Or
yeah. So basically, the idea is so that they don't
run into the back of the safety car.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if they all went, they were going to hit that safety car.
Yep. So it was just a little brain fart. It's a long race, understandable, and he did a remarkable job other than that. And Shane did a great job, didn't he?
Jumping back to a brain fart with the other category, Rosberg almost overtook the Manor.
Oh, yeah, we missed that. Yeah, that was
I'm surprised he didn't
pretty
get penalised,
crazy.
Because I think he got in front of him. And then he was
I don't know. If you watch the slow-mo, his tyres never he gets like 3/4 of the way up and then
must
slows
have been
down.
the camera angle, first camera angle. It looks like he gets past him, because I was like,
yeah, I agree.
Straight, my first thing was like, are you meant to pass there? Are you allowed to pass there? Are you still in pit lane? But then I thought it looked like he got past him, and then next corner, like, Rosberg's run out a bit wider and I can't remember which Manor it was, but anyway, let the Manor through, and I'm like, what are you doing? And then I'm like, oh yeah, virtual safety car, because I was so watching this and going to my brother, I'm like, you should be doing double yellows there. But then I was like, he's like, why don't they? I'm like, because last time someone died.
Yeah, it's true. They won't risk it ever again. Yeah, I was surprised. I did hear, I think Martin Brundle was basically saying maybe he was trying to give him a bit of a message, like, stop dawdling, hurry up. You know, you have a delta time and you're not going to hit it. Go on, get out of here, go. And I think that quite possibly could have been it.
Yeah.
He was just giving him like, this is how fast we should be going.
And you're not going. Yeah. Oh. Anyway, back to the other category. Anything else you took away? We haven't really touched on the Sunday race. at all.
Lowndes, once again, low pace. No
Lowndes
speed.
just
Sunday was not too bad
Lowndes
for
and
him. They actually
Richards-
copied, I think, the Red Bull car's setup.
I should have been
Shane's
doing that
car.
like 3 rounds ago.
Yeah. So
Lowndes and Richards really let me down. I was disappointed. I got all the Caltex retro gear and there's no point. I don't even want to remember that round. It was horrible.
Yeah, it's true.
Bathurst was worse.
Yeah. So, yeah, they copied, I think it was Shane's setup, and they went a lot better on the Sunday, but they were nowhere on the Saturday. Relatively, Scotty did a fairly good job over the weekend. It was good to see both the Volvos up there.
It was good to see him off.
Yeah, Scotty did a great job on Sunday to come back from them not pitting him when they everyone else pitted under safety car.
Yeah, because he did that opposite pit. Like, Gary Rogers stuck to their plan. Give him credit.
They did. I don't know if it was the right plan, but I think they should have followed everyone else. They're in commanding position. They weren't down the back of the pack or anything.
Yeah.
So
I do like it when teams do something different.
I agree.
Because it does spice things up.
It could have worked.
Oh, yeah.
If they got a safety car around when they needed it, bingo.
But this is another thing I was thinking on Sunday was like, we went a good chunk with Sunday we had one safety car.
I think, one.
Like,
it's a fairly clean race.
Our drivers are getting too good that the races are just becoming procedural and we're not getting this excitement.
Unlike the V8 Utes.
The V8 Utes, so that caused the delay to the top 10 shootout.
Mm.
They were all over the shop.
The boys obviously know they don't need the Utes anymore, and they're trying to get rid of them all now.
Yeah, last season, don't care. I mean, you could probably go to the Kumo V8. We'll make some more. That's what they were originally, weren't they? Kumo
I can't remember what they were originally, to be honest.
Oh, I don't know. It'd be a sad day. I wish the V8 Utes did come to Darwin before they went broke. So anyway, the Sunday race was nice and procedural. Jamie Whincup and Triple Eight in general were very dominant again this weekend.
Great cars. They've been good the whole Enduro season. Actually, something I wanted to talk about was that's why I brought up the PRA drivers, actually.
Yeah.
LeBrock, were you impressed with him in this Enduro season or not?
Yes and no. He did a good job in Bathurst, but I think he was lucky to stay out of trouble in Bathurst. But, you know, that's part of Bathurst. You do 161 laps around there. Stay out of trouble is a pretty hard thing to do.
Yep.
But then the way he went out at Gold Coast was very...
The Saturday race, yeah.
Yeah, he clipped the inside and just...
Oh, look, anyone can do it. It's just... He's made a few mistakes recently and stuff like that, so maybe he needs another year.
I'm not fully impressed with his driving in the Dunlop series. Like, the things that he's done recently.
And
I'm not on the Jack LeBrock bandwagon.
He does sling a lot of mud.
Mm.
For someone that makes mistakes as well.
I'm happy to support a younger driver, but I'm not supporting him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good. No, I agree. I agree with you 100%.
That's my 2 cents. If you want to support a young driver, check out Thomas's Maxwell's new website. That's pretty flash.
Yeah, it is. We were just having a look at it, actually. It's a pretty cool website. It's got
I'll link that in the show notes. He's doing a Formula Renault test.
Yeah, that's big news. I didn't actually know about that until going on his website. Look at those things you find out when you go on there.
Yeah. So if you do see it, go link it in the show. I'll link it in the show notes. Go check out it. You can sign up to his mailing list, which is I've gone and done that.
Yep.
So it should be good. You know, another local Darwin boy out there.
Oh, maybe a future Formula One star. You never know.
Hopefully. Some of the passes that he's got on his website look really good.
Yeah. We were just talking about it before. One of them looks very Max Verstappen-esque. Just a commanding pass.
It was very commanding, but they cut very early after it. So we have
Thomas, write to us and let us know. Did that pass actually pull off, or did he get you back and a switch back?
We'll link you in our post. We'll see you. Got to get you to answer it.
Yep.
Did you actually pull that off, or did you actually get past like we think you did?
Yeah.
No. Talking about from young drivers to old drivers. See, I'm getting pretty good with segues. Eh?
Yeah. You're going to talk about Russell Engel here, are you, or not?
No, I was talking about the other old driver that's called time on his career, but.
No,
we can go back to Russell.
Oh, well.
I like Russell.
Okay, quick chat about Russell. Do you think he will have another drive next year? Wow, that was quick.
Yeah,
Your thoughts on this, maybe, Michael?
I don't know. He didn't have a great run this year, and it wasn't all his fault. He did have a lot of car issues, and then he had a very grumpy Kelly to deal with at Bathurst.
The Nissans didn't have a good run this year.
No, they were all over the shop.
Yeah,
It's odd. I think that could hurt it because I'm like, he's how old now? Like 78. Next year he could be about
at least
90.
1 million.
Yeah, like you can't have a 94-year-old driving around at these speeds.
It's true. It's true.
No, I think the only reason why he won't get another drive next year is I think he's just starting to hit his use by.
Okay. Yeah, well, you got 3 or 4 years after you finish the main game that you still sort of got your eye in.
But he's doing him and
Scaife
and Longhurst.
Yeah.
This is another. I don't know if we talked about this last week.
We did. With the BMW.
It's still going to be an awesome. Like, I want to go to this 12-hour.
I think we might have to pencil some time in to go away to the 12-hour because it's going to be epic next year. Lowndes and Whincup. Oh my God, what a pairing!
I know, and it's just all the drivers are going, and like finally because they obviously don't have a clash, or if they do, no one's rocking up for that stupid test day.
Well, that's a byproduct of V8 Supercars buying the 12-hour. See?
Yeah, you can line it up.
V8 Supercars is actually. I got to give it to them. This year they've been investing a lot of money in rotor racing.
They are.
They're buying categories and they're building the categories. See, I thought they would buy categories and shut some of them down, but they haven't been. They've been.
Have they bought GT Australia yet, or they want
to? I don't think so. No, I think that's run separately, but I'm not. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure 100%.
I don't think they do. Imagine the uproar.
I hope they buy it. I hope GT3 needs to be a category it's more up there in our Australian motorsport. We don't give it enough credit.
I think the advantage of V8's buying all of these categories is getting to the run on the weekends.
Definitely.
Like getting them to have, these
coincide with their big meetings.
There's nothing stopping them from bringing the Super Utes and having more category racing and just extending the date, especially if we can light tracks.
Yep. Or you never know, we might get some big race meetings that V8s don't even race at.
Yeah, but you could have all the other categories.
Like an Eastern Creek where the Super Utes, Carrera Cup, GT3, you could have Dunlop. You could have just like a epic race weekend that doesn't have V8s. Obviously, it's not going to draw as big a crowd, but these are all good categories. They're all good to watch. Yeah. So the diehards will be all over it.
Yeah,
we will. Definitely be all over it.
I'll fly down though. I don't fly down for the V8 rounds. But if I was in Sydney,
yeah,
go. But so wait, do you think Russell's going to get another drive? Now I shut him down and just ruined his career.
One more.
He
gonna do one more.
He gonna do one more.
He gonna do one more. I don't know. He's. We need a new Volvo. Well, fuck it. He's driven with everyone else.
No, he could do that. Volvo, I don't see that happening. But
I don't either. I don't know. Honestly, possibly.
But he gonna do one more.
I think he wants to do another one. I think he enjoys it.
He's not bad.
And he's not a bad driver. He's got good...
Cam McConville came back with a long time off.
Oh, we've missed Cam, haven't we? Cam has done a great job.
Even with the broken car.
Yep, did a great job. The whole Enduro season, actually. But yeah, I think he might do one more.
You're gonna do one more.
Yeah.
All right. So
I don't know who for. Maybe he should come back with Nissan again next year with Brick and try and rectify all their problems they had this year because it was a horrible Enduro season for Nissan.
The cars that struggled this endurance season struggled throughout all the rounds, pretty much.
They did, didn't they?
It was just like...
there was a few of them, but that did really well, and then the next meeting...
Yeah, like Reynolds... not Reynolds. Reynolds did really well.
Yeah, talk about flying under the radar coming into this weekend. Reynolds did a great job. Unfortunately, they didn't convert any of it.
I know.
But, wow, great work.
Yeah. But, anyway, we got to wrap this up shortly.
We're just rambling now.
We're now rambling. But there is one driver that we would like to thank that has very, very driver close to our hearts. Mark Webber.
Yeah, Mark Webber. He's
called time on his career.
Yep. The passion, the fire's starting to go out.
Were you surprised?
Not really. After being so solid in the last 2 championships, I think he can really...
He likes to go... He's more than happy to go out on his own terms and go out on top.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I don't want to go out when he's struggling or not winning races or anything. You know, he wants to go out while he's still very much competitive. And people remember him going, oh, last time Webber was out, you know, he won.
Yeah,
his last
exactly.
race,
He's
he won
going
or
out on
something.
top on his own terms, and that's great.
And he's not on struggle street.
No.
He's doing all right. He's staying on.
Will
He's still
he-
got a relationship with Porsche.
Yeah, and he's still got his Red Bull relationship as well. So, he's not going to be broke.
One relationship. Does he still have his Canberra Milk relationship?
Well, I don't know if anyone remembers this ad.
If
out
anyone wants a good 29 seconds of entertainment, listen to this.
there, yeah, we're going to give you something right now.
I'm a Canberra Milk kid. From the time that I was old enough, my mum would pour a great big cup. And since then I've been drinking. It keeps the mind a-thinking. Wherever I am, wherever I roam, the thing that always brings me home is the taste that I've been missing, the Canberra Milk tradition. And that's why I keep coming back to proudly wear my milk moustache, because I'm a Canberra Milk kid.
That's
a blast
great.
from the past.
Thanks, Weber. That was great. Good little go-kart driving too in that
Yeah,
video.
yep.
I'll put that video in the show notes.
Here's another funny Webber moment.
Webber was hit up the back by Sebastian Vettel, put him out of the race. Louise Goodman has found him.
Mark, just tell us your thoughts right now.
Well, it's kids, isn't it? Kids with not enough experience doing a good job and they fuck it all up.
Thanks, Mark. Well, I think we'll leave it there. Apologies for that fruity language.
Tell us what you really think,
Well,
Mark.
a very angry Mark.
And then he's done his shoey. He's play this one.
Fantastic, guys. Not bad for a number 2 driver. Cheers.
Yeah.
It's
One of my
cheeky,
favorite
cheeky.
ones. I don't know if it's not in this list, but when he slams down the drink, I think the team's happy with today's result.
Yeah, I agree. That was a pretty funny one.
But no, thank you, Weber, for everything that you've done. It's been very entertaining watching you race.
Yeah, what a great career. You know, he's done a lot for Australian motorsport too.
Oh, he put Australian motorsport,
On
like
the
he
map.
put Australian back on the map again. Like we didn't have that F1 driver out there, and
And just such a solid person as well, like sense of humor and
very
charisma
down to
and stuff.
earth, and just
Yeah.
you like Weber. He's not
he's
unlikable.
not bullshitting.
Mm.
Maybe it's an Australian trait because Ricardo seems to have slid into Webber's shoes of being quite likable as well.
Yeah.
Webber was one of the most liked Formula One drivers
Yeah,
when he was driving.
Ricardo's very cheeky.
Ricardo, everyone loves him.
Yeah,
He's cheeky. Oh, don't get me wrong. They're different people completely. But there's something about them that everyone likes.
Mm.
So,
So we'll link some of Weber's highlights and stuff like that in the show notes, and this unnecessary censorship gift that keeps playing over and over again. And if you know
it's
what
very
I'm talking
distracting.
about, oh yeah, I bet you're distracted. You can't stop looking at it.
Especially
Anyway.
her reaction right there. That bit.
Anyway, guys, that's our show for this week. You're going away. Are you going to be back for the next round?
I'm going away. I'll be back this weekend. So yes, I'll
Okay,
be
so
back.
we're back because we're going to have. It might be another late one to Mexico.
I know why they do this to us.
I know, right? Think of the people in Darwin. There's like
Stuff the
there's
drivers. They got
literally-
their body
there's
clock
like
in the right time
dozens
zone.
of us. Right? There's dozens of us in Darwin. We need to get some races in our time zone.
It's
But
so
no.
good.
All right, guys, that's us done and dusted for another episode of Breaking Late.
Hit us up at Facebook.
Yep, we're facebook.com/Breaking Late, or you can just type Breaking Late into the little search bar. Whatever you want to do, we don't judge. We give you choices.
We do. Well,
Um,
the internet browsers give you choices.
Do whatever you want. You can check out our website at www.breakinglate.com, or probably if you're seeing us on Facebook, just click the big link. That will take you to our website. Shoot us an email at breakinglate@gmail.com. I can't get any of this right, so I think we're going to wrap this up.
That's all for tonight.
Yeah, be back after Mexico.
Yep.
Mexico.
Mexico. Looking forward to it.
Yep. See you guys later.
See ya.